Hi everyone, this is Rejoice or Rejoice Screen, and I'm here to share my story with you. I don't even know where to start from, but I will be very brief about the story because I want people to learn from my experience, and at the same time everybody should be careful because here in Nigeria we still have people that do evil. So today I left a particular village in Ogun State. I was coming back to Ibadan, so I dropped at interchange. It was my guys, Ato Lifestyle, Adventure of Jazzy, Killer, and Mr. Jide that we were in the car. So I dropped at interchange. I was about to board another bus heading to Ibadan because they were going to another part of Ogun State. To cut the long story short, when I got there, I didn't get, I saw a car and a bus. So I was just like, oh, car is always faster. We all know, public transport in Nigeria, buses are always very slow. So compared to a car. So when I saw the car, I stopped the car and I was like, Ibadan. And the driver said, 1,500. And I said, 1,000. He said, no, 1,2. And later I agreed that 1,200. Meanwhile, in that car, there were 2 passengers already. And there was someone at the front and 1 person at the back. So I didn't see any issue about the old car when I entered because it was just 3 men. So, and it's not my first time that I will be entering car or bus filled with men, that I might even be the only lady inside. So as we move a little bit, I just discovered that the guy sitting right beside the driver was saying, driver, me too now 1,000 naira go pay. What's the difference between where you picked me from and where you picked this lady from, and you agreed to 1,000 naira? And they were just, arguing. They were having a conversation. I don't want to call it argument. It's just like a conversation, right? And the driver was like, for 1,500, which means drop if you know you cannot go with me for the amount we agreed on. And the man by the right hand side, that's the driver's side, he said, oh yeah, let's go. And we keep moving. And just like 5 to 7 minutes drive, like on a very high speed, the man sitting beside me was just like, oh, I want to drop when we get to so place. We've not gotten to Ogere at this point, but we were close. So he said he wants to drop. Oh, why not? And he gave the driver money. When he gave the driver money, the driver just came up with a question. Kilo wa lẹ́yìn mọ́tò yẹn. And the passenger that wanted to drop was like, I have a load, ẹrù mi ló wà lẹ́yìn. And he was like, okay, those people that dropped before you, that they already carried the load. And he was like, no, I'm very sure my bag is there. And they started one thing. Before I know, the guy that was sitting beside me was like, you have to tell, no, the driver said, you have to tell me what you have in your bag, blah, blah, blah. Before I know, they were just, in my own destiny. It's none of my business. I don't know where you guys came from. I was just looking at them. I was not saying anything. To cut the long story short, the guy sitting right beside me started begging that about $150,000 low ambe atikano ni motimbo ogami kusi Saudi Arabia. In my head, I was listening to all this conversation and we were still moving. So he was telling the driver that please drop, collect your money, let me pick my bag and go. And the driver was like, tó bá ṣe pé ọlọ́pàá ti dá mi dúró ńkọ́, ṣé ẹ fẹ́ kó bá mi ni, báwo lẹ ṣe máa gbé sẹ́yìn mọ́tò mi, tẹ́ni sọ fún mi. I was seeing all their dramas, and the guy that was sitting right beside the driver was like, he speaks like an Igbo man, but I'm very sure that he's not an Igbo man. But he speaks like Igbo man, and he even speaks Igbo, like pure Igbo, because one thing is, I cannot speak, but I understand. I understand Hausa as well, but I cannot speak. So I was listening, and before we know, this man came into the conversation and be like, okay, we have to share. And the guy that was sitting beside the driver was speaking English. He didn't speak Yoruba at all. Not to, give any clue or anything. To cut the long story short, we were close, and we were close to Gary. And the driver slowed down and he was like, okay, now you know what, let's finalize. What do you want to do and all of that? And it was even the guy that speaks like Igbo or that call himself to be Igbo, that was like, okay, what do you want to do for us? Since there's this big money in this car now, this is our own turn, it is our blessing. What do you want to do for everyone here? And the driver was like, assuming you told me that you have such money in the bag, me only be a sister here now, I will not carry this man. And I was like, okay. I was not even ready to add anything into the conversation, because if there's anything, I don't poke nose, I don't do too much talking, I live my life like a man. If you don't call, even if you call me, I might choose to look at you and I will just keep quiet. To cut the long story short, they were already planning on how to share the money. And the man that was now sitting beside me that ought to drop, the passenger, was not like, bag away, tell you about it for walk home. That's the word. Like 3 times. Then in my head, I processed it. You carried the money and put in driver's boot, right? And you said, "Tell about for walk I was not ready to say. I was even ready to drop. The driver was not like, at this place you cannot drop. And I looked left, right, center. I noticed that we were purely in the bush. So I had to cooperate with them and move to where we can see people moving. It was now the next turning. They were like, okay, they know one alafa that there was a way they used to protect something, like in the north, that, if you want to protect your properties, that thieves will not move closer to it. There's always a siege that they can put on it and all of that. In my head, I already know that, but one chance. I was praying at the same time. I had to quickly reach out to Auto Lifestyle and be like, Baba, be like, sir, don't enter one chance, because I know that I must not call my family at this point in time. I know some of my friends that I must not tell, because they will bombard me with calls. They want to know what's up. So I just told my sister that was at home that please pray for me. And I messaged Auto Lifestyle. And he said, what's up? Share live location. I was doing that. While I was on my phone doing that, they were like, Auntie, enter phone. Kilo shele. They were trying to be very conscious and know what. So I was just like, oh, me, I'm pressing my phone. What's my own business? Please, can we move? They had to turn. And they were like, they were calling one alafa. So I had to allow them to turn back, because where we were bush, like, no, like it was just trailers that were passing. Nobody is moving by the roadside. That even if you scream for help, no one gonna help you, because I've experienced something very close or something similar to that, but it was at night at that same interchange. I was just like, okay. They said they want to turn back to interchange. They want to pick the affair that will take away the siege that is placed on that money. Then they can share. In fact, they were asking me that, do I know someone that can take something off? I said, I have no idea. They were not like, but the driver was like, Omo Muslimi ni mi, awe Ramadan ni mo gba lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. He was just swearing. He said, Omo Òṣogbo ni mi, Omo Okefia, Okefia bi Alafia. I can't even remember, but I know that particular side of Òṣogbo. Through that, because I wanted them to be very free, so that they would be like, okay, we are on the same page. I had to flow with them, so that we can get to where we have people. To cut the long story short, before we got to interchange, when they were speaking to the Afa already said, am I worried? He said, the driver said, don't worry. You know what? When you called the Afa, it was the Igbo man that was calling the Afa now. He said he have somebody. And he said, oh, don't worry. By the time I called this Afa, the Afa, when he was not speaking with the Afa now said, we are families. They are fighting on land, and they put one jazz on the land. And they said, oh, you know this one do not know how to speak Yoruba very well. You only understand. I was like, God, may they not pick my voice. You know, when you are praying so badly, and I was just begging my head, my taking sharing. To cut the long story short, guys, we got very close to interchange, and this is the driver that said he doesn't know the Alafa. It was the Igbo man that said, I know the Alafa. And the Alafa said, oh, I'm traveling. I'm going to Ife. Mo wan interchange. Mo ti sumo interchange. And I just saw, before on that space of all these things that happened is not even up to It's not up to 15 minutes. This guy already came to the roadside and he parked. The driver parked. In my head, I was like, oh, 1 + 1 + 2. You are the driver. This is your passenger, the Igbo man. The other man that was sitting behind me was your passenger. I'm one of your passenger. How come you know the Alafa? And he parked and he said, oh yeah, well, listen, no. The moment I said no, enter, I will sit by the door side. When we got to interchange, they just speed up under that bridge and climbed. They wanted to turn back. They said, and since that we are going to Ibadan, let's just go and turn. I said, I want to buy water. That's the first thing that came to my brain that I should say. Then when we wanted to say, I want to sorry, okay, don't worry, Tabago Pegori Bridge. Then he was like, share your woni, share your shaking conny. I said, I need to drop. When we were very close to that, what's it called, the bridge side, where the sellers, if you are heading to Abeokuta, or if you are going to Shagam, you know that bridge. If you are conversant with that area, you will know exactly where I'm talking about. I said, drop me. Mi olomo, drop me. And that moment, the Igbo man, you know, when the Alafa entered, he entered to the front seat. The driver was right beside, you know, the driver's seat. And the guy that said he brought money from Kano was sitting very close to the window side. Then the Igbo guy was sitting in the middle. Now I'm very close to the other door side. I was just like, it was more or less like they pushed me down. And that moment, the rate at which they speed up, because one thing that came to my head is I should try and take the plate number, because I know that at least with plate number, there's something can be done. But I couldn't. But I was able to take pictures of them, like a short video of them, even though I could not record, because the guy that was sitting beside me was trying to put all his eyes inside my phone. And you know, I could not do a lot with my phone at that point in time, but I was still able to take a short clip of them. And yeah, I'm just grateful to God, because this story will have turned to another thing. Probably they would have been looking for me or something. It was later when I dropped, I called Ato and he called me rather and was like, were you able to drop? I said, yes. We did video call and he was like, relax. They are this, they are that, and all of that. But I know that, because even inside the car, the moment they picked the Alafa brought out jazz. I mean, confirm, see, when I see jazz, I know jazz. And I was just like, you know that moments that you have to just speak to your creator, talk to your God properly. And you know, the beautiful thing is, I remember saying, I don't get mama, I can't say my mama, make you no sleep. It was a terrible one. I will not even lie, I'm traumatized. Right now, I don't even think I really want to jump on anything, traveling or something. But this is a message. Please, if you see them talking about gold, money, and all of that inside the car, please just shut your mouth and find a way to drop. Because the truth remains that it's either they want to use you, they want to kidnap you, they want to steal from you, or they even want to, they will do as many evil as they can think of to you. But I'm just grateful that I'm alive to share my story. And yeah, if you have ever experienced this, leave it in the comment section. Let me know. Have you ever experienced it? Do you have someone that have experienced something like this? Let me know in the comment section. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.